Posted by you. The underscore last underscore Jackson, wife of 10 years, started drugging me to hide her affair. On June 14, 2020. I found out my wife had been drugging me over the past 8 weeks to sneak out and have an affair. She would use a spoon to crush up Ambien in plastic baggies and mix them into my drink, sometimes adding muscle relaxers as well. Somehow, she managed to drag my unconscious body from the living room to the bedroom and get me in bed. I'm 6 feet 10 and weigh 250 pounds. We were happily married for over 9 years when all of the sudden her behavior and attitude changed, about 2 weeks after the COVID lockdowns. She became verbally abusive, manipulative, frequent gaslighting, and finally drugging me. She was having an affair with her trainer at his home garage gym. Twice during that time, she asked me how to collect the life insurance in case something happened to me. A few months after I caught her and got the restraining order, my mom died. I have tried to post my story twice now, but it gets flagged and removed instantly. I didn't see any rule violations, but maybe it was too long, so I'm trying to keep this short. Therapy has taught me one way to cope with the trauma is to keep a list of the things I learned so that my suffering has not been for nothing. I wanted to share it here in case it might be helpful to someone. Whatever you tolerate will not only continue, but it will also get worse. Want and need are two different things. Want them, but don't need them. Never lose yourself to keep someone else. If they don't appreciate you when you do a little, they won't appreciate you when you do a lot. In fact, they'll resent you for it and not even know why. Beware of people pleasers. They will deny themselves to please you and they will hate you for it. Insecurity equals dishonesty. Personal worth, value and integrity should transcend the relationship. Without them you can't have a healthy relationship. Don't allow yourself to become resentful, deceitful, and dishonest. I stole this one from Jordan Peterson. If they don't respect your boundaries, they don't respect you. Don't marry the person you want to have sex with. Marry the person you want to be with when sex is no longer an option. Don't marry a person that has everything to gain but nothing to lose. Marry the person that has some skin in the game. Something to lose if the marriage fails. Marriage is a non-stop negotiation. Sex is overrated. Communication is sexy. You don't become a bad person by making mistakes. You become bad by continually making bad choices after mistakes have been made. If you feel like things are off, you're probably right. No one will give you more than what you expect for yourself. Now onto some comments, posted by Consistent Algae 230. This is either fake or your wife is literally the definition of insane. Somehow she carried my unconscious body into the bed. Has the same energy as, somehow Palpatine return. I wish. Got pics, recordings of confessions, restraint order papers, separation agreement, and divorce papers. It happened, my friend. Shit like this happens more than you think. Men don't talk about it as much because they get shut down and told it's fake or take blame. OMG. Your story is absolutely horrific and scary AF. Can you press charges? She is a friggin' monster. I live in a no-fault state, which means it doesn't matter what she did. She is entitled to half of everything. My lawyer wrote up a separation agreement that states I get to keep the house and savings, etc. She gets her personal belongings, a car, and a small amount of money. The deal was we won't press charges if she agrees to the terms. She went for it. Now onto the last story. Posted by you, spirited_trouble 6412, AITA for not accepting my friend's extreme concerns over my relationships with a white guy. I'm Mina, 20F, and I have a friend called Nadia, also 20F. Obviously, these are false names. We met at college and instantly became friends despite being very different personality-wise. This has caused friction between us for a long time, but I've always ignored it in favor of our friendship. A few weeks ago, I've met this most amazing guy Jack, 25M, at the beach, and it was love at first sight for both of us. He's simply amazing. No toxic masculinity, no modern-day male nonsense. He doesn't even have a social media account apart from LinkedIn. Now, I love this, but Nadia thinks this makes him some sort of a dork. She thinks I can do better that dorky white guy, and asks me constantly what I see in him. She's started posting vague tweets about me and him. Things like, I don't like seeing baddest brown witches with white men, etc. Nadia has started making fun of my BF's hair. He looks like a golden retriever but in a very good way. His jumpers, his shoes, even his job. He works at a freaking museum. How cool is that? But all this isn't good enough because he hasn't got a fresh fade, or pung outfits, and other stuff. I confronted her recently and told her stop making a fun Jack as I really like him. But she sat me down and told the extreme concerns about my relationship as the title implies. She told me to dump him as I can do better and that it was hot girl summer and that I should really date someone from our own community instead. She's now saying that I have internalized racism due to which I find Jack attractive and that he only fetishizes me. Nadia also started going off on me for being intimate with Jack as I lay with the colonizers. This made me see red for a second and I said a lot of nasty stuff to Nadia. How she always bullies me into doing things she likes, tries to force religion on me, makes snide remarks and makes weird-ass passive-aggressive TikToks. She started saying I'm leaving her for a guy and that I was betraying myself and our people. Now at this point I feel bad and wonder if I am the asshole for shouting at her instead of calmly walking away or explaining my point. I also wonder what happened to her to make her feel so strongly about these things. So, I kinda feel bad about that as well? AITA. This is so confusing. Now on to some comments before the edit. Posted by On the Lookout NTAC. NTA. Your friend is racist, plain and simple. I wouldn't associate with a racist person. You need to cut her out of your life. OP responded with, really, is she being racist? I felt really uncomfortable at her poking at Jack's ethnicity, especially since we're Muslim and white people can be Muslim too. So, it's weird she was calling him out for that. Major_Zucchini 5315 responded with, exactly. I'm a black woman and many moons ago I was dating a guy that I really liked, and he liked me. I used to talk about him to my friend, and she thought he was great until somehow the subject of him being white came up. I never mentioned it before because I didn't feel that it mattered. Well, she just stared at me and then said, you can come back home anytime you want to. I asked why he was so great in her eyes until she found out he was white, and she couldn't answer me. I haven't spoken to her since. Friendship over. Typical Garlic 7308 responded with, agreed. Nadia sounds unhinged. I would back off from that friendship ASAP. It's freaking weird how obsessive she is about your relationship, considering the fact it's a good one. NTA. Posted by Motor_Crow 4482. Betraying myself and our people. Eye roll. You're not leaving her for a guy. You're setting boundaries and creating distance because she's being an unsupportive friend. You are not a canvas for her to paint her values upon. You are a complete and independent person trying to live your best life and surround yourself with people who care about you. And from her behavior, it sure sounds like she's not really meeting those requirements anymore. There is a lot of light-skin fetishism in communities of color, undeniably. But that's a systemic issue, and not an appropriate justification for undermining and degrading individual couples. People are more than their ethnicity and it's basic respect to acknowledge that, which she isn't. Her behavior is toxic. It sounds like you're outgrowing this friendship. Good for you. Keep surrounding yourself with people who cherish and respect you and lift you up instead of dragging you down. Edit. I'm in an interracial relationship. My partners acknowledged that the general feeling of his extended family is that, ethnically and culturally speaking, the closer to the homeland a partner is, the better. I think that's pretty normal, especially in older generations. And I actually get it. They want any potential children to be connected to their heritage, and that's easiest when both parents come from the same, similar cultures. However, they have never once degraded our relationship or made me feel unwelcome. They accept and celebrate that I love and support my partner as much as they do. OP responded with, I feel bad for her, that's it. I know she might be coming from a place of hurt. Also, she keeps saying things about how it's bad to do what I'm doing because of religion. I'm not agreeing with her, but I sort of feel weirdly guilty. Like when you're told something's wrong your whole life and then you have like residual guilt over it. But I don't regret Jack. He's a gem. Posted by MKGirl88, NTA. I'm Latina and with a geeky white dude as well. Has zero social media except Reddit and is literally the best person I've ever met. We've been together for 5 years now and are about to get married. If your roommate was really your friend, she wouldn't be bashing you or your guy based on shallow things. If she really cared about you, then the only thing she needs to be concerned about is if he's treating you well, your happiness, and that's it. OP responded with, nice to hear about your relationship. And thanks for your insight. Rebelled 821 responded with, I 100% agree. I am in the same situation, a Latina with a white husband. He is the greatest, most amazing man and has learned so much about my culture and is even trying to learn Spanish so that he can speak to my mother. We have been together for 5 years and have a child. He is so supportive of me, making sure that my daughter knows about her Latina culture. You just have to do what makes you happy, because in the end your happiness and your boyfriend's happiness is all that matters. Now on to the edit. I decided to call Nadia to give her another chance. She started saying how I was wrong to date out of the religion, as in Islam women can't marry out and dating is haram. When I explained how she had a BF too, she said that it was different as it was done with intention to marry. I told her I'm with Jack with an intention to marry too. She went quiet and then started crying. She said I'm going astray and that I'll never see Jeanette if I married a non-Muslim. She also said how I'm leaving Allah for pleasures of the world. I told her to STFU. Nadia has now threatened to tell my parents about it. I haven't told Jack yet because I also don't want to hurt his feelings.